¿Lo están viendo ustedes? ¿Están escuchando todo?
What bother? What the fuck?
In central Greece, in the Paranesti region, a secluded and untouched woodland, widely known as the Fracto Virgin Forest. On a Monday afternoon in early June 2025, two climbers set out on a difficult trek. Their goal was to pass through the thick forest while searching for the wreckage of a military plane that had gone down there 77 years before. At one point, 61-year-old Christos Stavrianidis was moving slightly ahead of his companion near a cliff edge. He stepped forward to look over the valley below and capture footage with his body camera. His friend was behind him on a nearby parallel route. Everything appeared ordinary until Christos spotted strange movement in the brush drawing his attention. The second climber tried to move closer but saw nothing. Then, without warning, only a few meters away, a large, dark figure emerged from the vegetation, a huge brown bear. Pulled in by the sudden encounter, Christos tried to interact with the animal, not realizing that this dangerous moment would soon end in tragedy.
Ρίξε Δημήτρη! Ρίξε σπρέι!
The video shows a bear described as a large adult male rushing toward the second climber who had his dog with him. Protective barking can be heard as the man manages to buy only a few seconds to use the pepper spray he carried. Meanwhile, Christos on the opposite side was affected by the smell of the spray and started reacting just before the bear fatally attacked him. Right after being hit by the pepper spray, the bear turned and headed toward Christos, who was standing close to the cliff's edge. The attack led to a fall of more than 800 meters. His friend, terrified, instinctively climbed into a tree to shield himself. Still holding his phone, he called emergency services, knowing the remote location would be extremely hard for rescuers to reach. Several hours later, a major rescue effort began. Firefighters, search teams, and even a helicopter were sent out in an effort to access the site. The woodland was so thick that rescuers had to continue on foot, pushing through trees and rocky ground, one careful step after another. When they finally found the body, Christos was unresponsive. The fall had killed him, and he could not be saved. Footage from his last moments spread quickly and drew headlines across multiple countries. Even though the men were experienced experts, said the climbers had not reacted in the safest way and that the bear's actions were probably defensive, common in moments when an animal feels trapped or threatened. Today, Greece has an estimated 400 to 500 brown bears, most of them living in mountain areas, and encounters with people have become increasingly common. Environmental officials stress that in places where these animals live, people must follow safety rules, avoid getting close, keep a safe distance, avoid provoking contact, and carry emergency gear. Sometimes one reaction can change everything within seconds. Maybe the situation was already too close or moving too fast, so what would you have done if you had been in that situation? The following unsettling clip comes from Nomadic Millennials, a van life channel that follows full-time travel around the United States. It is March 25th, 2019 in San Diego, United States.
So we were in our van like around 9 p.m. and we were just hanging out. Rachel was teaching some of her classes. We heard some loud noises, which we thought were fireworks because we've heard loud noises around this area before. There's a park area that we're next to.
John and Ray are stopped near a public park in the evening. Movement in the area is not unusual, and when sharp bangs ring out, they initially believe they are fireworks. The noises are close, but they are not immediately understood as danger. From inside the van, they have no clear view to verify what is taking place.
I went outside and looked, and there's a bullet hole on the side of our van. And pretty much what happened is someone shot at our van while we were inside. I don't know if it was on purpose or an accident, or we were just in the crossfire.
The bullet's route is examined. It came through the side panel and traveled across the interior, stopping only after hitting a reinforced area. The angle shows how little space separated the shot from where they had been sitting. Inside, of vehicle protection is limited. Most panels are never designed to absorb impact.
We never felt not safe here up until yesterday, which is the weird part. I mean, there's a lot of different factors that make us believe both ways that it was an accident, and there's a lot of different factors that make us believe that it wasn't. For example, there was multiple shots being fired, noises that we've heard. So to us, it doesn't seem like it would just be like an accidental.
They think about how close the outcome came. Placement becomes the main detail. A slight change in angle or entry point could have altered everything. This moment is shaped by distance. There is no warning, no slow buildup, only an instant turn from ordinary to dangerous. The van offers freedom, but it offers very little cover, and moments like this expose one truth about van life. In public spaces, you are vulnerable to whatever unfolds nearby, even when you have nothing to do with it. Sometimes events happen without a clear cause and without time to respond. So do you think this was random chance or something more intentional? A man on the same path heading the same way. Step after step, he kept her rhythm never close enough to confront, never distant enough to dismiss, until it stopped feeling like chance. Lisa is a woman who often posts outdoor videos centered on off-grid solo living, forest camping, hiking, and other similar experiences. Usually, she is entirely by herself, with only a camera in her hand, moving through different wooded areas. Her videos are genuinely easy to watch. She has a warm presence and makes each scene feel peaceful and natural. But in this specific upload, something shifted. The day was beautiful, and she had planned a simple solo hike, mainly showing her viewers how incredible the area was, but it turned into something far more uncomfortable than she had expected.
Hey y'all, welcome to Lisa's Escapades. Today I'm out in a different area. I had to go north so it wasn't flooded. Well, how beautiful is this place? You can ride bikes here. Maybe I'll come back with my bike. If I bring a bike out here, then I can go further. Let's go check this out.
At first, it really looked like a perfect hike. The place was gorgeous, and it seemed as if nothing could possibly go wrong. But then she noticed someone, and that instantly made her uneasy, causing her stress to rise fast.
So I noticed when I came in the parking lot, there was a guy in his truck just sitting there, and he wasn't doing anything. Now all of a sudden I notice he's behind me. I just was going off this trail and saw him, and he went on another trail, but then I saw he stopped. So now I'm on this road, and he was behind me, just off this road. I thought it was kind of weird that he was just sitting there.
In the beginning, it might have looked accidental. Maybe he was only there to enjoy the place and she simply happened to pass near him. But as soon as she entered the woods, he began walking as well, following behind a woman who was hiking alone. She said she had some kind of protection with her if needed, and decided to keep going, but she kept looking over her shoulder to check whether anyone was behind her. And the troubling part was that he was. At one point, she stopped after hearing knocking noises farther in the trees, and with everything that had already happened, it is hard not to wonder whether it was the same man hiding somewhere while observing her from somewhere out of sight.
So I just heard some banging noises coming from over here. I'll see if I can capture it on the camera.
She chose to start returning to her car, aware that she might be walking into a dangerous situation, so she did not want to gamble with it. That was when she made clear eye contact with the man. She quickened her pace and finally reached her vehicle.
So Here's the guy with the white shirt.
At that moment, the man turned back toward the woods. That strongly implies he had been following her, though the reason honestly is still unclear, and it becomes another reminder that being alone in the forest is not always as safe as it appears, and carrying some form of protection can matter. In that moment, his presence did not feel accidental. His movement, his timing, and his direction all pointed toward something more intentional. Even so, with daylight still helping her, she was able to return to her car completely unharmed. Sometimes nothing has happened yet, but the situation already feels wrong. And when that feeling appears, the real question is simple. Do you trust it, or do you keep moving forward? In March 2023, YouTuber and urban explorer Matt, together with his friend Andy, posted a video on their channel Finders Beepers History Seekers, a channel dedicated to exploring abandoned places across the United Kingdom. The pair also brought Matt's dog Bear with them for the trip that day. At first, the property looked completely empty and quiet. As Matt and Andy walked across the ground floor, Bear started acting oddly.
This house, straight away, I've got a weird feeling about it. It just feels off. It is very spooky. What is he doing?
I don't know, but you rude.
He's on a proper mad one tonight. Ben, go find it. Where is he? There's something weird about this place. I feel like we've just had the worst start to a video ever. Right, let's get looking around properly, instead of just looking at nothing.
He seemed anxious and distracted in a way that was difficult to understand. Dogs can notice things people overlook through scent hearing and instinct, and Bear appeared to be responding to something inside the building. Matt and Andy saw his unusual behavior, but did not treat it as serious. They kept moving from room to room like normal. Eventually, they noticed Bear had wandered off and gone upstairs by himself.
Not very much in the bottom. Is there anything in the... What was that? You hear like a whistle? Where's Bear?
How you doing?
My concern is that... Oh, he's upstairs. Bear?
What was that?
At first, they were not especially concerned. Then, Bear suddenly released a sharp, loud bark from somewhere above them.
Right, boy. What's wrong with you? Just started barking randomly.
What's the matter, love? Hey?
You found a rabbit? I wonder if there's someone outside. Was he up? He was upstairs, wasn't he?
London, yeah.
I just don't know if he'll look... Is there windows he can get to? Do you want to have a look up? There's nothing else down here to look at anyway.
Oh, you ain't done that. Don't go up now, he's blind by.
I know.
The two went upstairs to see what had happened. As they searched the upper floor, nothing appeared obviously out of place. Bear seemed a little calmer, but the pressure in the house still remained. Then, without warning, a heavy knocking noise came from somewhere close.
Where's he gone in here? What have you found, Bear? I wonder if it's that curtain flapping around in wind.
Could be.
Bear, you're just causing so much bother. What the fuck? Did you hear that? Hello?
Bear's shaking.
Hello?
Matt and Andy stopped instantly. They could not work out where it came from. They considered different explanations: another person, another explorer, an animal. Whatever caused it, the noise felt too intentional to dismiss. They headed back downstairs and carefully checked the ground floor.
That wasn't just my imagination, that were it?
I thought it was him.
No, because he was stood with yours. Hello? We're not secure. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to hurt you. Hello?
Nothing appeared, no evidence of anyone. The house still seemed empty. As the immediate fear settled, they began discussing what could have created the sound. That was when Matt remembered an important detail. Bear had been wearing a small camera on his back the whole time. The dog had gone upstairs alone, moved through the rooms, barked at something, and the camera had captured everything. Matt opened the footage. As he watched it back, one moment made him stop. Someone was lying there perfectly still, concealed in the darkness. That was the exact moment Bear had barked. He had gotten close enough to sense whoever was underneath.
His camera's in my hand of what he's just seen. And I hadn't looked at all the footage yet. I've just seen one thing and it has chilled me. So he's walking around that bedroom. Can you see?
I can just see, yeah.
We'll see better when we look at the footage properly. But look, when he turns back round towards the bed, there's an hand there. And he shits himself. He absolutely shits himself. And that's when we heard him barking.
After reviewing the clip, Matt and Andy realized someone had been inside the house with them the entire time. The person had remained hidden and had made no attempt to come near them. Considering the situation, they thought it was probably a homeless person or another explorer who became frightened and chose to hide instead of being noticed. Even with that possible explanation, the two left the property unsettled and ended the exploration soon afterward. Bear discovered what the cameras in both explorers had missed. Whatever reason the person had for hiding the dog, noticed it before anyone else could. What do you think Bear picked up first? A smell, a sound, or something else entirely? This footage comes from Lisa's Escapades, a solo outdoor channel centered on remote camping in areas many people avoid, forests, swamps, and secluded rural spaces. On April 19th, 2026, she had made camp in a green swamp area when things around her site began to feel abnormal.
I keep hearing stuff.
Her truck was parked, her equipment was set out, and the usual routine had started. Then, something broke that rhythm. There was movement behind her, faint, irregular, but repeating often enough to take her focus away from what she was doing. She paused, listened, and returned to her task. Then it happened again. Not a single random noise, but repeated disturbances coming from one same direction.
Just jumped out into that tree over there. There's a lot of wildlife out here. It's so peaceful.
The next thing she noticed was something visual. Something moved quickly and climbed into a nearby tree close enough to be inside her camp's immediate surroundings, but gone too fast for her to identify.
Deer screaming. Of course the camera wasn't running.
Then another type of sound followed. Knocking, farther back in the woods. It was not constant, but it had pattern and repetition intentional enough to separate it from ordinary wildlife noise. She aimed her microphone toward the sound and waited. Nothing appeared. Later, she checked footage recorded in infrared. In the distance, there were heat signatures, faint, not clearly formed, and too far away to identify. She called toward them to see whether anything would answer or come closer. Nothing did. The signatures remained in place, leaving the footage in the same uncertain state, visible but unexplained. By the end, the area had become quiet. There was no final reveal, no direct encounter. Every noise and every shape remained just distant enough to avoid a solid answer somewhere just beyond the edge of sight. That is what makes footage like this difficult to dismiss and difficult to prove at the same time. What do you think was moving around her camp that night? In September 2018, YouTuber and urban explorer Josh from the channel Exploring with Josh went to an abandoned school in Gary, Indiana to record his next upload. He came with several friends and began moving through the building, still unaware of what had taken place there before.
We are exploring an abandoned school. Gary is known for their churches and known for their schools, but today we're inside one school that closed down due to the fact that every school needed repairs. A lot of people are just moving out. The state needs money, and they just voted this place off. Like, they didn't want to put the $2.8 million to repair this place.
At Emerson School, they found the girl's dead body in the basement.
That's crazy.
Was taken.
Yeah, she was dropped off there. Yeah, people dump bodies around here. So yeah.
They learned the backstory fairly quickly. Human remains had previously been discovered inside that school. It was the type of information that immediately changes the feeling of a location. Even so, they continued through it, staying careful and watching each step. In the auditorium, something suddenly scared them.
This is what the other one looked like exactly. Oh my god.
What? Oh, dude. I didn't see you, man.
A figure was already standing in the room. It turned out to be one of their friends they had not noticed when they first entered. They continued exploring. Then a sound drew their attention toward the windows. Outside, a group of young men was heading toward the school's entrance nearby.
Wait, they're coming in here?
Yeah, what else would they be doing?
Oh yeah, they're trying to come in here. Here's another guy right there. I don't know what he's doing.
What do you even know?
We got an OG in the car on this side. I don't know what's going on right here. They're around. They're like just throwing everything around. You can hear it. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna book it here and just chill in the back for now and not be seen. Jose is somewhere around here, so we don't know what happened to him. But we did hear shouting. We're gonna stay up here and just hopefully, keep calling him up. He's not picking up his phone right now.
Josh and his friends watched as the group entered the building. The men started smashing things and creating loud noise throughout the place. One person from Josh's group had become separated, and nobody knew where he was or what might be happening to him. The three of them climbed onto the roof and remained there. They stayed silent, listened to the activity below, and waited. Eventually, the group finally left. Once it seemed safe, Josh and his friends came back down and finished checking the rest of the building before leaving. Despite the school's past and everything that unfolded during the visit, they did not find anything that could not be explained. A building with that kind of history can attract people for many different reasons, some curious, others not. Josh's group got out safely, but the situation on the roof could have ended differently. Would you have stayed to complete the exploration or left the moment that group appeared? On September 9th, 2025, high in the isolated mountains near Harrison Hot Springs in British Columbia, the area many people call Canada's Sasquatch capital, Angelo and his friend Lomar headed out on another intense search for something unexplained. Exploring with Angelo is known for remote camping backcountry trips and following strange claims into places most would avoid. But on this outing, the quiet woods seemed almost too aware that they were actually there.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new adventure. We are back out here in Harrison Hot Springs. Here we're actually in the Sasquatch capital of Canada. The most sightings. Hopefully we today capture Bigfoot on camera. That is my ultimate goal. I want to see him either crossing a road or something. Over the past year and a half, we've come out twice, once in October, once in July. Now we're out here again in August. There's so many stories of Sasquatch or Bigfoot being out in this particular area.
Once they reached Harrison Hot Springs, Angelo made the mission clear. This secluded part of British Columbia carried the Sasquatch capital label, and their goal was straightforward: get Bigfoot on camera. The surrounding forest felt strangely motionless, almost like it was listening to what they planned. Before they even pushed farther into the mountains, the feeling of being watched had already settled around them, and the woods answered almost immediately.
Now the other thing too is let's just hope we don't get a flat tire, because we got this wheel bearing replaced yesterday. They checked out the tire, which kept going flat because of the heat from the wheel bearing. We went to a gas station to pick up ice for our cooler, and the thing was literally on 10 PSI basically. All right, we are approaching the Visitor Center and Sasquatch Museum. Almost there. That's what I'm looking for. So basically here, what we're gonna do is drive all of this. And if we have time, maybe tomorrow we'll go into this area, since there's been a lot of sightings over there as well. So there you go. It's got lots of These are the actual reportings of what they've seen. So this is Hicks Lake. Mr. Claire Brevon reported to Thomas Steenberg that his camper was visited and shaken by a Sasquatch, which woke him up. It also tried to pull on the door handle. He viewed the creature leave his camp and walk forward to the lakeshore. Some of these date back to 1939. This one's about a prospector who spotted 4 dark, hair-covered creatures in a valley off the headwaters of Silver River. The creatures appeared to be playing or wrestling. Wow. Youth camp director sees a Sasquatch while he was sitting by a campfire. Other witnesses with the group reported seeing the creature as well. So the adventure begins into Sasquatch Provincial Park. There it is! Sasquatch! Sasquatch! Yeah! Come on, me! We do gotta get up the hill, right? Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and find Bigfoot from the sky right now. We're using both our drones. Let's get her up in the air in a moment.
Dude, the views. It's crazy up here.
There is the beautiful smoggy lake right now. Holy, that looks so intense. Wow. It's beautiful.
This hill is massive.
Let's see.
We were a lot higher.
Let's get some zoom going here.
That would be something.
So there is a spot down in that direction. That was where me and Kimberly last year were basically camping out. We had a nice little campfire going, just chilling. I think we made some food and stuff. But off camera, all of a sudden we heard something. Like the weirdest kind of, I don't even know, like sort of like a howl, but kind of like a whoop whoop at the same time. Off in the bush, so.
I mean, Bigfoot is known to mimic for what people say, so.
Yeah. Imagine he just like comes into the bush right here while we're both just like staring at our screens.
What do you want?
Looking for me? They're hunting us as we're hunting them.
Right.
Before they had even left town, the first issue appeared. One tire had fallen to only 10 psi, the same problem they believed had already been repaired. At the nearby Sasquatch Museum, they found an account about a camper being rocked and its door nearly pried open during the night. The report felt disturbing, and the timing seemed almost deliberate, like the area itself was reminding them what they had come looking for. Even so, they continued farther into the mountains. As they drove into Sasquatch Provincial Park, the road tightened into dark lanes buried beneath heavy trees. They sent up the drone trying to read the forest from overhead, but the view showed the lake below covered in wildfire smoke. Angelo remembered hearing an odd whooping sound there the previous year, a noise he still could not explain. Now back in that same place, the air felt weighted as if something remembered him as well. And farther into the trees, the clues started changing.
Hello, you guys see a Bigfoot? Nope, no? Okay. Nope. Oh my gosh. Okay. Something here. There was a tree that had a marker on it, and something snapped it. Right?
It's kind of like, it's like chewing.
Yeah. Timber. Like, how the hell did that happen? But, the real reason we stopped was because we were starting to pick up an odor as we were driving through this way. And it smelled really bad. So we're kind of just like pausing for a second and just see maybe if we see something. There's like a big clearing and opening up here too. Wow, we just found a absolutely gorgeous location right on the lake. So this is kind of more like an actual campsite. Like there are people with like their trailers and RVs and stuff. There are several sightings like along this way, reported sightings of Bigfoot. So you never know, we could be in the water and all of a sudden just Bigfoot comes out of the freaking trees. Oh, we've continued on further down the road. Curious to like what's ahead of the beach campsite area. All right guys, so we kind of found a spot where we think we might actually camp out tonight. Pretty freaking amazing. All right guys, so we've been just kind of chilling for a little bit. One last time, and even if we don't catch anything, at least we have a beautiful view. That is for damn sure. I also just noticed something on the ground here. Ugh. There's a bullet casing. Looks like an AK bullet, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. Not seeing anything, not even a bear. Nothing. Well, that's pretty much it, I guess. Not gonna see anything from the sky.
Away from the main path, they discovered the first solid sign, a tree snapped straight across broken in a way that did not look like weather or rot. Then, a powerful rotten smell moved through the air, strong enough to make both men stop. It stayed only long enough to suggest one thing: whatever had passed through was not far away. As they kept moving, the strange details kept piling up: fresh campsite, another low tire, and used shell casings spread along the ridge. But all of it felt small compared to what came after dark.
Alrighty, burgers, round 2. One for me, one for Lamar. Okay, did you just hear that, like, noise again?
You're hearing net losses and stuff.
Right? Like, we keep hearing, like, random... I don't know what that was, but okay. Excellent. These burgers are actually good. In a bit, I'm gonna go and see if there's, like, something on the road that's making those noises.
It's happening again.
What the hell is that? It literally came from up there.
The road goes up there, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Let's see if we hear it again. That is not Gerbert, bro. Whatever that is not
That
Gerbert.
is not a Gerbert, man. I hear a car, but I don't see
I hear it too.
Oh, it's coming down the road, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's something
What direction was it?
going up.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not even joking.
I thought I heard something going down.
Like, I'm seriously, it's like echoing.
Well, best of luck. Okay. Just try not to die. We are in bear territory, of course. But there's 100% something going on. We're hearing something. Well, let me know what's up there. If there is anything, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, it sounded like, I don't know if the sound was just resonating, but it sounded like there was something in both directions, which is kind of the reason why we're being stupid right now. Hello? Woo, woo, woo. Okay, I just heard something. Okay, I legit heard something like right down there. It almost sounded like a whoop, or I guess, is that what you describe it as? It's impossible to see anything out here because it's just so dense. Oh, what the? Dude, was that a rock? Oh, there's another one. What in the hell was that? Well, it just sounded like something moved behind me. Anyway, whatever. I figured since I'm missing a beer, apparently, the last thing I remember is I had almost a full beer, entirely full beer. I don't know where it went, unless I put it down somewhere and I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, maybe I should try Spear Talker. I mean, these mountains probably are haunted, so... Whoa, what the fuck was that? Dude, something just hit the fucking table.
You know, there's like some sort of bear or something really close by, bro. A lot of movement, either that or a Sasquatch is right here.
Yo, something literally just hit the table over here. Okay, whatever. Alright, bedtime. Holy crap. It's been a long day. It was hot today, too.
Hello?
Oh, no way!
It would have been one of these. Bro, it literally hit the table, man. That was absolutely messed up, dude. Could it have been this one?
I have no idea.
Oh, dude, smell this rock. Literally smell the rock. What the hell is that smell, man?
I don't know. I usually don't smell rocks.
No, but like it had a stench to it when I picked it up.
Night shifted the pressure into something else. 2 large rocks dropped near Angelo on the trail, forcing them back toward camp. Later, an unopened beer disappeared from the table without a sound. Then, after 1:30 in the morning, something struck just outside their tent so hard they felt it through the ground. When they reviewed the footage, the camera had recorded the moment something was thrown at their table. Angelo lifted the rock later and noticed the same foul odor stuck to it. They never slept. They only waited, listening, aware that something had been standing right outside. Viewers later recognized patterns from other accounts, accurately thrown stones, bad odors before close encounters, and items taken from camps. Some mentioned that young Sasquatch are often described as playful but unpredictable. Others warned that whatever hit their tent was not small. If the noises were not Lomar, the missing beer was not an accident, and the thrown rock carried an odor that should not have been there, then what exactly moved around their campsite long after the forest fell silent? It took place in October 2024 when Pellegrini, the person behind a travel and exploration YouTube channel focused on distant locations and disturbing folklore sites, went with a shaman named Unicornio Negro to an abandoned mansion concealed on a remote island. The property had sat untouched for over 20 years, carrying a past shaped by tragedy and rumors of darker ceremonies. From the instant they arrived, the air felt dense with stories that had never fully surfaced.
Tomamos esta lancha, más o menos la manejamos bueno, no la manejé yo, la manejó el señor. Sí. ¿Cuántos años más o menos tiene abandonada esta casa?
Ya tiene más de 20 años este lugar. Como a este lugar no viene nadie.
Sí, ¿no? Y aparte la naturaleza hizo lo suyo
Sí. En este lugar en donde vamos a entrar hay muchísimas historias. Estas historias que te voy a contar son reales. Un hombre negro, grandísimo de 3 metros, se ha visto caminando o deambulando alrededor.
Por eso estamos el día de hoy aquí, amigos. Vamos a entrar a la casa maldita de la montaña embrujada para justamente ver si los espíritus existen.
La historia de la casa embrujada de la montaña maldita comienza con una familia que decide comprar este terreno y hacer su propio hogar. Todo parecía ser un paraíso en medio de una isla solitaria, pero un día, sin previo aviso, el hombre de la casa se desvivió. La familia decidió venderla. Es que algunos años más tarde, la pareja que compró esta casa, un día la esposa amaneció colgada de una ventana del segundo piso.
Hoja de cucharo. Esta rama se utiliza dentro de la herbolaria para poder despojar las energías de las personas.
¿Escucharon eso?
¿Sí lo escucharon?
¿Qué fue?
¿Sí lo pudiste captar?
¿Allá?
Fue un grito.
Sí, fue un grito.
Un lamento, ¿no?
Sí, como de una mujer, ¿no?
Te digo que aquí hay una mujer que en las noches se puede ver y escuchar. Aquí se ha avistado muchísimas demonios. Uno de ellos ha sido el charro. Se cuenta que aquí alrededor lo han visto y aquellas personas que lo han visto no han podido ni siquiera moverse, ni gritar, ni salir corriendo. Solo lo ven y se quedan petrificados. No solamente han visto al charro, sino también han visto a una mujer. Hay que tener muchísimo cuidado porque esta misma energía puede hacer que se desmaye la persona con menos espíritu. Aquí se han desmayado.
¿Y por qué te le quedas viendo a Santi?
Porque pues yo sé que él es el que trae el espíritu más bajo.
Oigan, todo eso que escuchan, no sé qué sea, no sé si sean pájaros o monos, porque en esta isla hay monos.
Sí.
En esta casa también se hacen rituales satánicos.
De hecho, estás adentro de un portal. Alrededor de ti están muchísimas puntos que fueron veladores.
Great box,
Ese
perfecto.
es un punto. A todos los seres que habitan en este lugar, los espíritus impuros, los demonios, incluso a la Santa Muerte, el día de hoy pido se hagan presente todos estos energías, espíritu en este lugar que necesite de nuestra ayuda. Que tu nombre sea, que así se haga. Ometeo. Ometeo.
¿Empezamos?
Sí.
Ok.
A partir de ahora.
¿Hay algún espíritu que se encuentre aquí? ¿Eres maligno? ¿Eh?
Sí, tu cabello se estaba moviendo de este lado. Aquí, ¿verdad? Se alzaba. En un momento acabamos de tener lo que fue una actividad aquí con ella y en el video se muestra cómo su pelo se le empieza a alzar hasta acá.
¿Qué está pasando? ¿Qué estamos haciendo? Me siento muy observada. ¡Qué bueno! ¿Me están contestando? ¿Te molesta que estemos aquí? ¿Eres la mujer de blanco que se aparece? Se escuchan muchísimos ruidos afuera de aquí de la casa, amigo.
¿Eres mujer? Te vas a quedar aquí un momento. Quiero hacer una prueba. Vean, ese que yo tengo es
Santi.
la forma, ¿no? de la persona. Lo voy a mover para otros lados y así nos vamos a dar cuenta si hay algo aquí. Se está detectando algo en la esquina.
Se escucha como si alguien estuviera haciendo un ritual.
Como de rodillas y ahora de pie. A ver, me voy a poner al lado.
¿Sí ven cómo detecta a el unicornio?
Entonces me voy a quitar. Ustedes lo están viendo, me voy a quitar.
No mames. No inventes, sí hay algo ahí definitivamente. ¿Escuchan?
Sí. ¿Escuchaste? No hay que separarnos, por favor. Los lugares a donde luego voy, hay Miles de murciélagos, miles.
Mira, aquí parece como si estuviera bailando, mira. Tingiriringui, tingiri. ¡Una persona chiquita, mamón! Güey, ¿qué es? ¿Una luche?
On the ground floor, the shaman presented hoja de cuchero, describing how it was used to cleanse the heavy energy built up through years of neglect. As they passed through the tight rooms, a weak, pained cry seemed to come from deeper inside the mansion, a sound the shaman connected to the woman linked to the property's past. His calm warning about the most vulnerable person among them created a tension that stayed in the room. As the feeling around them changed, the group pressed farther in where something even stranger was waiting. They entered the section connected to earlier rituals and tried to use the spirit box, but each attempt ended with the device powering off. After they moved to a motion tracking app, the screen traced a human-sized shape standing in an empty corner, followed by a smaller figure, shifting in uneven movements, the shaman linked to aluches, or duendes. The group remained quiet, while the shapes flickered and the room seemed to take on a sharper awareness. As the atmosphere grew heavier, they chose to head upstairs where the house held its most difficult moment.
Justamente aquí, pero en la otra habitación, fue donde vimos la última vez que venimos. La mujer deambulaba en la naturaleza y se fue perdiendo entre los árboles. Aquí, ponte aquí.
Ay,
Cierra
cabrón.
tus ojos y escribe las cosas.
Me siento como intranquila. Siento como si algo me estuviera agarrando las manos. Y ahora... ¡Ay, güey! Siento que alguien me está tocando.
Tranquila. Descríbelo todo sin miedo. Aquí estoy yo.
Literalmente siento como si alguien me estuviera tocando.
Tal vez están tratando de contactarse a través de ti.
No, güey, paso.
¿Qué más sientes?
Está empezando a doler la boca del estómago aquí. Otra vez, que cuando normalmente me duele aquí es porque hay algo.
Está absorbiendo parte de tu energía. Hoy hemos venido a entregar parte de nuestra energía y no se los había comentado.
Siento que me están agarrando la mano izquierda.
Cuando sientes que te están agarrando la mano, ¿esta mano es grande o es pequeña?
Grande. Siento que es más grande que la mía. La siento delicada como si fuera una mujer, pero sí siento que es una mano grande.
¿Lo están viendo ustedes? ¿Están escuchando todo?
Sí.
Ahora vamos a preguntarle algo. ¿Necesitas ayuda?
No.
No, simplemente quiere que nos vayamos. ¿Tú eres la persona que está haciendo ruido?
No. Nos están molestando. Ay, no. Me siento las piernas mal, o sea, están congeladas. Siento como si quisiera caminar, pero no puedo. Me siento como si...
Hay un sentimiento encontrado.
Ajá.
Puedo sentir ese sentimiento. Ese sentimiento te está causando tristeza, te está causando un vacío en tu cuerpo.
Estoy angustiadísima.
¿Te atormenta algo de tu pasado? Al fondo de tus recuerdos. Por eso no has podido recordarlo.
¿Y qué es? Me está ardiendo aquí muy...
Son las ganas de liberarte.
Ok, me quiero liberar.
Respiras profundo. Exhalas. De todo lo que me ha pasado.
De todo lo que me ha pasado.
Tanto de lo bueno como lo malo.
Tanto de lo bueno como de lo malo. Güey, está muy cabrón. Me arde aquí. Siento calientísimo.
Respira profundamente. Y vas a decir, nada de lo que me ha pasado.
Nada de lo que me ha pasado.
Ha sido culpa mía.
Ha sido culpa mía. Güey, si estás muy...
¿Sí está bien? ¿Estás bien? Vámonos.
Güey, no lo puedo creer. ¿Cómo supiste?
On the second floor in the room where a woman had once been discovered, the air seemed to close in around Pellegrini. She described feeling a hand holding hers tight enough that she had to mention it. With the shaman guiding her, she attempted to answer whatever remained there, but her words broke into repeated rejections, each one sounding more strained than before. Her legs became heavy, emotions surged suddenly, and a buried memory rose up, leaving her shaken enough that the shaman decided staying inside the mansion was no longer safe. The shaman's descriptions of cleansing plants, wandering spirits, and protective beings gave each moment a place within a broader spiritual world. Viewers later noted how the equipment failures and emotional reactions matched beliefs around aluches, duendes, and the lasting imprint of tragic events. As they left the island, the shaman warned them to be careful, leaving the question behind, were they responding only to the mansion's history or to something actively conscious of their presence? What do you think truly happened inside that abandoned house?